Resilience to me means, going through something difficult, but still being able to push through and move forward regardless of the difficult thing, but also dealing with the difficult thing.
Coming from a past of drug abuse, homelessness, and being a convicted felon, Amanda has broken through and was able to let the good things into her life. Amanda is now on a mission to inspire people just like you. People who have had difficult past and haven't yet realized that they are stronger than they think and can have the life they deserve. Amanda wants to help you rise above the labels of society and burst through the ceilings that you have put on top of yourself. Amanda's core message is that we are stronger than we think. We're talking about resiliency, right? Being resilient and being able to really move forward. And so I'm excited with all the guests that have come on so far. And today we have Amanda. Amanda is going to share with us how resiliency has shown up in her life, whether it's her business or personal life, so that you can get inspired. Because I know, and Amanda and I know, that we all have different journeys, but yet when we hear each other's stories, we hope that we inspire you to keep on moving, right? And so, Amanda, thank you so much for coming on the show. And so we're talking about resilience. What does it mean to you?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show, Martine. Resilience to me means, going through something difficult, but still being able to push through and move forward regardless of the difficult thing, but also dealing with the difficult thing. So we're not just saying, oh, this happened and now I'm just going to keep moving and forget about it. It's more of moving through it, but still continuing on and not letting it hold you back.
Moving through it, so powerful, and being present with what's happened. I love that. And to be honest with you, Amanda, this has been a common thread so far in this season, as far as the speakers coming on and bringing up the fact that it's important to be present. It's important to find a way to push through it, but it can be very difficult to do. And so if you can share with us so we can put it all into context, what has it looked like for you having to be present and still say, I got this. I can move past this.
Oh my goodness, Martine, how long do we have? But one of the biggest struggles throughout my life, well, since I was in my early 20s, so about 12, 13 years now, I'm a convicted felon. So I went to jail, and that left me in a state of shame for a very long time. And I was trying to deal with it and trying to be proactive. Like, I was still living my life. I wasn't necessarily letting it stop me completely, but there were certain things I wouldn't go after because of that. And whenever I really thought about, Amanda, like, you're resilient, like what can you do to, have this part of your life, but not make it, 100% who you are in the present. So I started looking at it and it's like, yeah, I've been to jail. I'm a convicted felon, but guess what? At the end of the day, I'm strong enough to put myself out there. And I've started doing that more recently and just really showing up as authentically as me. And it's been an amazing experience. And I know that there will be negative comments, but being resilient, I know I can handle those negative comments and not allow them to pull me back down to where I was, say, 10 years ago. So that is a huge part of my story. And then as far as being resilient in the business sense, I, about a year ago now, got certified as an online business manager. And I thought, this is my calling. This is what I'm going to do. And it turned out that it wasn't. And instead of wallowing in that and kind of, thinking like I have to push through and keep doing this because this is what I signed up for, I made the huge pivot of doing what my heart and soul called me to do. And I didn't allow, other voices in my head that were maybe telling me what I should do to guide me. I let myself guide where I needed to be by giving up the online business management business and going into essentially what I do now.
Interrupting this episode really quickly to thank you for tuning in to this show. I truly appreciate you consuming this wonderful content. And I want to invite you to not only leave us a review, share with us which episode resonated the most, right? And let your friends and family know about this show. How do you do that? Well, there's many ways you could do this. You can leave us a review on Facebook. You can leave us a review on Amazon, or you can also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And so we look forward to hearing from you, and we look forward to continuing to bring you more amazing individuals to support you in visualizing whatever it is that you want in your life and your business, and start creating that. Take action today, all right? Do not hold back. And with that, let's go back to the episode. My goodness, those are two powerful examples, Amanda. Amazing. I had no idea that this was your story, and I applaud you for being so confident and open to share the honest truth, because that's what resilience is. I mean, you decided to be yourself. You decided to say, you know what, heck with everybody else and what they believe that I should be. At this point in my life, I'm going to be what I believe I need to be. And so kudos to you, and congratulations for overcoming all of these obstacles and coming on the show and sharing this with us. And so this is a huge takeaway for all of us, because you have developed, right, the real Amanda, but you had to go through what you went through to learn, right, on how to discover this new Amanda. And there's so much more to come. I know that for a fact, because you are resilient. And I love that about your story for sure. And so I want to dive in a little bit in regards to what you mentioned when you became an online business manager, you shared, and then you realized that it wasn't really what it is that you were aligned with, I guess. Yeah. And you made that change. Can you bring us back to that moment where you realized the emotions that you felt when you realized that I've put in all this time and work to become this, but yet it's not it? Because I think it's important, before we dive into you explaining on how you made that decision and went forward, I feel like it's important for us to understand that life is a journey. And this show is called Visualize and Create. And so I personally believe that all of us have the power to visualize a great life, a great business that we want, and we have to position ourselves to create it. And so that's what happened with you, Amanda. And so bring us back to that moment when you were like, this is actually not really what I think I want to be doing. How did you overcome finding that clarity? Like, what are the things that you did so that whomever's watching can say, I'm feeling the same way about where I am, but I don't even know where to start. Like, this is what I know. Like, what would you say to someone like that?
I would say, for me, it started with, a lot of fear, and I felt almost like I was ashamed of myself. Like, I felt like, well, I've been telling the world for so long, I'm an online business manager, and now I'm going to throw this wrench in and be like, hey, I'm not. And, but what I did, the process of, doing that was truly listening to myself and trusting myself to know, okay, this doesn't feel right. I could do it, but I don't really want to. It doesn't bring me joy. And I started focusing on, well, what would bring me joy? And that's when I came to the realization of telling my story in any way that I could. And then I started reaching out to people in my networks and telling my story. And it kind of just gave birth to itself, I guess.
I
So
love it. I love it. And see, this is why I say all the time, you have to reach out for help. And look at that. That's what you did. And you trusted that decision. And so you're here with us today, Amanda. And I want you to tell us, how can you help us if we are feeling connected? And perhaps someone watching today could say, you know what, that's exactly my story too. And I feel good to hear you, Amanda. I'd love to connect with you more and help me get through what I'm going through and build up more of that resiliency in my life. And so what do you do to serve others today? And how can we get in touch with you?
yes. So currently I have my own podcast. It's called the Let Good Things In Show. And I share stories of hope there. I tell a lot more in depth of my story and I interview others to inspire. So there's a lot of inspirational things that happen on the show. And also, I'm launching my coaching practice and where I'm going to help men and women be able to have a better relationship with themselves by looking inward for love and acceptance and walking them through the steps that I took to help them get to where they want to be in their lives.
Oh my God, so excited. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just so happy. I mean, I don't know, for you're watching this right now and listening to this episode, have you paid attention to that journey, right? What a wonderful, beautiful story that you got to share with us here, from where you were to where you're headed right now. And it's a big, big decision that you're making, having to help others, right? Go through that transformation because it was painful for you. And now you feel good about going back because it's going to serve somebody else. So good, so good, so good, so good. I love it. And so, Amanda, tell us, you have the podcast, but if we're watching you right now and we're like, okay, I want to listen to the podcast, I got that. But how do I get in touch with you? Can I email you? Do I go on a website? Tell us more.
You can definitely email me, amanda@amandaacker.com, and also find me on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. And yeah, that's how you can find me. And I do have a website, and it's www.amandaacker.com. So that will be up and running soon as well. And you can go on there and book like a discovery call, no sales, just get to know each other call from my site as well.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so you heard it. All right. Listen, it's about reaching out for help. And Amanda's here. She decided to come on when I invited her to come on the show because I knew that her story was going to influence you and inspire you to take action, right? We're all about taking action on this network. And so I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And Amanda, I want to thank you again for coming on. This is not going to be the first and last. I'm just warning you. You're coming back because I know there's so much more that's going to happen with Amanda. And I want to keep everyone up to date in your journey because it's just fabulous. And so I truly appreciate you coming on the show. And for you watching, remember, share this episode. If you're listening to the podcast, definitely shoot a note to your friend, your cousin, your auntie. I don't know. Let them know about this episode and tune in. And I hope that you are a subscriber to the newsletter as well. So that way you are up to date with the latest and greatest so you don't miss out on the next episode. And so with that, Amanda, do you have any last words that you would like to share with the audience when it comes to the topic of resilience, and perhaps give a tip or a word of wisdom?
Yes. So what I would like to say to everyone who's watching and listening, that you need to remember that you're stronger than you think you are, and you can have the life you imagine regardless of your past. That is my favorite thing. And also the power of affirmations. Just real quick, I would love to say an affirmation for everyone. And my favorite one is, I am an intention and what I want is waiting for me. That would be
Yes. I love it. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Truly appreciate you coming on. I truly enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you did as well watching us. And so definitely connect with Amanda. If you watch this episode or listen to it, send her a message on social media. She's always on Facebook. She said it. And so definitely friend request her and connect and start chatting, because that's how it starts, your transformation, that is. And so thank you so much for watching us. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Amanda, amazing. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you in another episode for sure. Yes,
thank you.
We'll be back. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.